uh, the Red Wings,
Correct.
and
In
they've got a
Detroit.
chance to go for 9 straight if they win that game.
That is correct.
So I got a question for you real quick right off the bat.
All right.
How are they doing it?
They're playing as a team. They're playing well together.
Mhm.
We've had a lot of injuries. We still have 2 main injuries out.
Mhm.
We have the leading scorer out with an injury,
Yep.
and we also have Tara Vinen, a great hockey name. He's out, and he's a great assist leader.
Mhm.
And we still are bringing young players in, 18, 19-year-old kids who's filling the void, and it's just amazing. They love playing on this team for this coach.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, because I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you revving to go. You got a lot of things you want to talk about. The 93 Penguins, 17-game winning streak, 17 in a row. That's number 1 all time in NHL history. Any
Okay.
chance the Canes, just one word answer, any chance the Canes tie that or beat it?
No. No,
Hey,
it doesn't happen in today's league.
I love a man that's honest. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about a possible trade.
Okay.
There's been a lot of talk about Buffalo Sabres, and he used to play center, but now he's currently playing forward, I believe.
Yes. Yes.
Eric Stahl.
Correct.
And he formerly played for the Canes back in the day. He was on the 2006 Stanley Cup team.
That's
And
right.
then 2009, he was named captain. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And 2016 got traded away to, I believe it was the Islanders, if I'm correct.
No, the Rangers.
Rangers got my New York teams. Got my New York.
Then he went to Minnesota.
Then played for
on
Minnesota.
The Wild team, and now he's been traded to Buffalo.
Okay. And so the Canes are talking about bringing him back. He's been the subject of trade rumors, and they're not the only team that's interested in him. You've got the Montreal Canadiens, the
Toronto is interested, and Edmonton Oilers are interested.
Oilers, there you go. Yep. Maple Leafs, and so what do you think? Do you think this is going to happen? You think
First of all,
do you want him back?
First of all, Eric Stahl was never one of my favorite players.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was on the Stanley Cup champion team in 2006, but he never seemed to perform up to what he could achieve.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having second thoughts on that. First of all, his younger brother, Jordan, is the captain of our team now.
Okay. Yeah, I forget about Jordan.
Eric had never had the backing of the team as far as players on his line.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like having a great quarterback without any receivers.
Yeah.
or running backs or an offensive line. So Eric constantly struggled, but he is a very good player. And I think he wants to come back to Carolina.
Okay.
And I think he's 36 years old. So he's not too far away from retirement, and I know that he would love to retire as a Carolina Hurricane.
Yes.
Now, when we won the Cup in 2006, we brought in 2 players, Doug Weight and Mark Recchi, and they were there, and they helped fill the gaps. That's what Eric Stahl would do.
Gotcha.
And he would love it.
Yeah.
And I think he would do very, very well. So, in a way, I'm kind of hoping to welcome him back.
Yeah.
But I'd hold my nose. Okay. Is that okay? I mean, I think he would be a good addition to the team.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, new TV deal by ABC/ESPN. They've just signed a new deal with the NHL, and you mind giving us some details on that, kind of breaking down the numbers and give us your thoughts on how it's going to help out the league.
It's a $2.8 billion deal for the NHL. Okay. Now do you remember the last time we talked? I told you that the NHL had borrowed $3 billion.
Yep.
To help get through this crisis.
I remember that.
Well, this TV deal certainly does help with that, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you look at ESPN, they promote the programming that ESPN and ABC broadcasts. They talk about that on ESPN.
Yeah.
And so if hockey is on ESPN and on the ABC channels, they're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's going to become more of a well-known sport.
Yeah.
Now, it will cost people more. Like, instead of me watching the NHL channel for nothing now, I'm going to have to get ESPN Plus to watch the NHL channel.
Yeah.
That's okay for me, but a lot of people won't pay that extra money.
Yeah.
But ESPN is counting on that for that additional revenue. And Stephen A. Smith even had a hockey comment the other night. He said, "Well, I do know one thing about hockey. The puck is black." And that's an important thing to remember.
leave it to Stephen A.
So we've got more of that to look forward to, and that'll be fun.
And they're gonna ask him to talk about it.
Oh yeah, they will. Absolutely,
they have their talent doing all kinds of sports.
If
real
we get
quick,
him down here to Carolina, I'll take him to a game and show him some stuff.
Hey, so real quick before we get a hockey name of the day, officiating. It's been the focus of some negative talk. Real quick, give me your thoughts on the officiating.
Okay. Last week, I was watching a game, and one of the players for Nashville clearly boarded one of our players, Brock McGinn, who went down to the ice. It was called a minor penalty. And then subsequently, the NHL suspended that player for 2 games. So it should not have been a minor penalty.
Yeah.
The officiating is the worst in any major league sport, period, bar none. And if you go to games, you'll see it again and again and again.
Yeah.
I know I'm biased, but they call it both ways. I mean, it's terrible officiating. Terrible.
Well, give us a hockey name of the day as we get ready to close out here.
Okay. This was a goalie for Nashville that we beat last week. His name is Pekka Rinne. Pekka Rinne. He's from Finland.
Hey, another great one. Hockey has the best names. Hey, Larry, we really appreciate you joining us. Thank you for sharing all the insight about the Hurricanes.
Thank you for having me, and go Canes.
Go Canes.
Okay.
Hey, thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Break blew by. We want to thank Larry for joining us. We're going to take our first commercial break. When we come back, there'll be more of the At Home with the Crossover.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, The Joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometowninsurvice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
Big T.
Welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. Technical difficulties. And you can catch this special At Home edition each and every week, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. throughout the duration of this pandemic. You can watch the entire Tunnel Crew on YouTube at our Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Once you go there, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the show. And then you can find us on our original day and time, which is Thursday nights on the radio at 7 p.m. for the audio version, the original Crossover Sports Show. And listen to that edition online at WLJFradio.com. You can also catch that version of the show on our app, the Love and Faith 100.7 WLJF app, which is available both on Google Play and in the iTunes store. So make sure you catch both versions of the show each and every week, Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on YouTube and Thursday nights at 7 p.m. on the radio or online at WLJFradio.com. All right, it's time. We want to thank our man Larry for joining us in the first segment and breaking down the Carolina Hurricanes and National Hockey League. And he'll be joining us each and every month throughout the hockey season to give us that kind of information. So thank you, Larry, for joining us once again. And now it's time to move on to our hot topics. Hottest stories in sports may not be what everybody else is talking about. It's the things that we want to talk about. And we begin with NCAA basketball. First, ACC tournament, then NCAA tournament, and all that good stuff. Georgia Tech is your ACC champion for 2021, surprising a lot of people, I do believe. And they were led by senior guard Jose Alvarado. That little dude, man, he's like a machine. I mean, he's out there, I mean, just running all over the place and getting it done. At the end of that game, he's the emotional leader for the team. And you saw that because at the end of the game, he made the ceiling free throws and then got a steal when Florida State still had a chance to try to tie the game up and, put the game away, basically. And they won the tournament for the first time in 28 years. It's only the fourth title in school history. And, second time in ACC history that no North Carolina school was in the final. Think about that. Only the second time in the history of the league. I mean, think about that. Now, I'm sorry.
Saying a lot.
I'm sorry, the league tournament, in the history of the league tournament, that no North Carolina team was in the ACC championship game. And, it was just a weird tournament, but props to Georgia Tech. I mean, like I said, that little dude, Alvarado, I'm sorry, that little dude is something else. Did y'all see the game? Y'all watched the little guy out there?
Saw the highlights, yeah.
So you saw the highlights?
Yeah.
They always say great things come in little packages.
Hey, I'm telling you, and he's one of those guys that you'll have to keep your eye on in the tournament because Georgia Tech is in. Now I do have one complaint about the tournament, and we get ready to go into the tournament talk, but I have one complaint because Georgia Tech is the champion of the ACC. The ACC got 7 teams in the tournament, which is the second most of any other conference, and they're a 9 seed. How is your champion a 9 seed? That's disrespectful. I mean, I know it's Georgia Tech. I know everybody, the committee was surprised, but a 9 seed, really? Radar, you shaking your head.
They gave you lower seeds, but more teams.
You say the lower seeds, but more. Yeah, I mean, and that's pretty much.
It was a trade-off.
That's pretty much the way it played out, But you got to give them credit, and other stories pertaining to the tournament. So the Blue Bloods, no Duke, no Kentucky, Indiana. I mean, we knew they weren't gonna get in, but if you want to talk about Blue Bloods, Indiana's not in there. And here's what's funny: Michigan State and UCLA. Now they're considered Blue Bloods. They're in the top 10 all-time wins. They're playing in the play-in game, y'all. I mean, wow. you talk about Blue Bloods playing in the play-in game. Any thoughts on these Blue Bloods? I mean, when you talk about Duke, it's their first time not getting in 26 years. 1995 is the last time they didn't make it. Any thoughts on the Blue Bloods not getting in there?
Well, Big T, I mean, can they blame it on the COVID year? Or can they blame it on the one and done, situation? I don't know, man. We need an expert on that, but I don't know. It's just been a year to remember in basketball.
Yeah.
And who we usually look at to be doing everything, they're just not in there. We might be surprised who win this thing.
I believe so.
Yeah. Yes, somebody gonna creep up, man. Hey.
Yeah, I think so too.
I agree too. I think that every interview we're gonna see is gonna be, we're adjusting due to COVID, or this happened due to COVID.
Yeah.
And it's more than likely probably true, because we heard from Rooftop not so long ago, just talked about on the high school level about all that he had to go through. And I'm sure he didn't finish telling us about everything.
Yeah.
And we've seen that now, coming up with even some of our local college teams. So on one hand, you want to say, oh, stop blaming it on COVID. But at the same time, it's like, well,
it's real.
You have a choice. Yeah, it's real.
It is real. Well, and couple of other stories related to the tournament. I'm going to blow through them right quick and get y'all thoughts on them. Rick Pitino, he's back in. You might remember that he had the scandal at Louisville, cost him his job there. Then he went overseas to Greece for 2 years, coached internationally, took the Iona job during the offseason, and now he's got Iona in the tournament for the first time in a long time. And all that proves is the guy can still coach. I mean, just because you did some things that smeared your personal your personal resume, that don't mean you can't coach. Patrick Ewing took Georgetown to the Big East title, so they're in the dance. And that was smooth, especially considering that Coach Thompson just passed away within the last year. So, it's good to see Patrick get the Hoyas back in there. And did y'all see where he was at Madison Square Garden saying he got accosted and once again, it's the Knicks, we're like, we've seen Spike Lee get problems trying to get in. We've seen Charles Oakley escorted out by a gang of security. I mean, the Knicks, y'all.
I don't want to go there. Go ahead, TP, please.
No, I was gonna say, now I can say this, especially when I worked for the NBA. Mm-hmm. I'm not shocked. I really thought it would have happened earlier because, first of all, players come through a certain entrance, and if you're at a certain place, and sometimes people don't know this, but every now and then the players sometimes come on the main concourse level where the patrons and stuff come in. Yeah. And sometimes when that happens, they're not expecting you there. They're expecting you at the bottom or whatever. But I say all that to say that sometimes when we see celebrities, we don't actually know we're looking at the celebrity.
Yeah.
But TP, 7 foot tall.
Yes, and I'm agreeing.
I mean, probably about, he done put on a little COVID weight, probably about 285, 290.
I'm agreeing with you, but here's the other aspect of that, which is, who, in some cases, who hasn't been harassed.
True that.
Hey, when you're harassing the number one Knick fan of all time, you're harassing legends like Charles Oakley and Patrick Ewing. Something going on up there.
Radar want to get it out. Go ahead, Radar. Get it out.
If this was my uncle and he was the security guard, yes, he would recognize him. Well, our kids are the security at Madison Square Garden. Yeah. My nephews don't know Pat. If you ain't got the high top fade. And Jordan got to be dunking on him. Oh, that's you. Oh, come on in.
Right. You know what? Y'all do have a point there, but I don't know. Okay, yeah, you do have a point. They probably don't know him. Like a lot of the kids nowadays, they think LeBron is the best player ever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what about Jordan? They were like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got on his shoes.
Hey, that old man.
He's no Kobe.
Yeah.
Respect the greats.
But here's the thing, Aggie P. Look at it this way. think about this. They want to change the NBA symbol. The little dude down, I forgot who that was. They want to change that to Kobe Bryant. That definitely tells you generational. Because in my opinion, I forgot who was named after, but in my opinion,
Jerry West.
I would say Bill Russell. I would say Bill Russell. Bill Russell got more rings than anybody.
The young kids would be like, who is that?
Right. Who is that old guy?
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't say LeBron, you know? But,
right.
Hey, go ahead, Bird. What we saying?
He ain't on that logo status yet, because
not yet.
Nah, he still got a long way to go.
Hey, the Gonzaga is the last undefeated team in the country, and they finished the season 26-0 after winning their conference tournament, the West Coast Conference, the WCC, whatever that is. But I'm not gonna knock them because they played some powerhouse teams this year. They played a lot of ranked teams, blew the doors off of all of them. And they're the first team to go wire to wire at number one. Started the season number one, finished the season, talking about regular season now, number one since Kentucky in 2014, 2015. We know how that ended for them, though. They didn't win the championship. And Duke and UNLV are the only other two teams to do that. The 91-92 Duke team, which did win the national championship, and the 90-91 UNLV team that lost to Duke in the Final Four. Those are the only three teams to go wire to wire from day one to the very end as the number one team in the country. Question to the Tunnel Crew. Do you think that Gonzaga will be the first undefeated team since 1976 Indiana? Because we haven't had, a lot of people don't realize this, we haven't had an undefeated team to cut down the nets and finish the whole thing undefeated since 1976 Indiana. Do you think the Zags are the team to get it done?
I don't.
I like how blunt you were with that.
Somebody's going to beat him. I mean, I think in that bracket, Kansas might. I don't know, Big T.
Yeah.
I just don't think they can do it, man.
Yeah.
No, I'm leaning towards Aggie Pete. I just don't.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't.
Because like you said earlier, Big T, you know, it's kind of questionable the team that they have played. I mean, but.
I'm sure Radar has a different opinion.
Also, Big T, real quick, you just messed up my upset on the on the question of the day. So thank you, Big T. All right, go ahead, Radar. I'm sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
leave it to the Flamingo Kid to mess it up for you. He trying to put the kibosh on everything. But I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm gonna tell you right now, this would be the year that Gonzaga would make that move, because everybody's kind of thinned out. So they'll get to the championship game. Can they win against Illinois?
That one in the butt. I want to say something else.
Bird, your thoughts real quick?
I say no, because, and here's why, because everybody's just as good as Zaga. And the tournament is so wide open, you can't really predict just because off of what they did. Okay, they won their conference and what they did in the regular season. You can't predict that off of the March Madness tournament. So it's really up in the air.
Wow. So you know what? It's going to be overwhelming because I agree with, the majority. I think Gonzaga's going to trip up. I think somebody's going to get them. And I keep hearing all the experts. So they're playing the 2, 3, and 4 seed in their region is Iowa, Virginia, and Kansas. And everybody keeps saying, oh, they played them in the regular season and they blew them out, which they did. They blew all 3 of those teams out. That's why I'm saying they played a tough schedule outside their conference. But to me, that's motivation when you see them again. So if they do run into one of those 3 teams, think about what Kansas City did to Tampa Bay in the regular season. That was motivation when they played in the big game. And we saw a different outcome. So I got a feeling everybody saw, oh, they destroyed those teams. They'll do it again. I don't know. I don't think so. We're up against a commercial break, I do believe. So let me go ahead and let all the listeners know that you can catch this edition of the Crossover each and every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And you can do that on YouTube. Watch our Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. And once you're there, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the show. And then you can catch the original audio edition on the radio at 7 p.m. on Thursday nights. And you can listen to that version online at WLJFradio.com. You can also catch that version on our app, the Love and Faith 100.7 WLJF app, which is available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. Hey, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we got more of At Home with the Crossover.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the Crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry, join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
100.7 WLJF.
All right, welcome back to this at-home edition of the Crossover. Make sure you tune in for this version every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Throughout the duration of this pandemic. You can watch all the members of the Tunnel Crew on YouTube at our Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe once you get there. And then you can find us at our original day and time on the radio, Thursday nights at 7 p.m. for the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. Listen to that edition online at WLJFradio.com. You can also catch that version of the show on our app, the Love and Faith 100.7 WLJF app, which is available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. All right, real quick, couple of quick mentions here related to the tournament. Couple of players to watch out for. Cade Cunningham, freshman, Oklahoma State. He's expected to be the #1 pick in the NBA draft. Dude averaged 20 points and 6 rebounds a game. And he's had a couple of explosive games this year where he went for over 30 and 40. And he's a scoring machine, 6'8" guard. So keep your eye on him in Oklahoma State. Luka Garza, expected to be the National Player of the Year in a lot of people's minds, from Iowa. Big man, he destroyed Carolina, had 30 points, I believe it was, on Carolina early in the season, and started the season off with, I think, 3 or 4 30-point games in a row. So he's a big 6'11" guy and takes up a lot of space in the middle. And then the last four out, Louisville was the #1 team of the last 4 out, and they basically said if any teams had any COVID issues, they were going to replace them with Louisville first, and then the next 3 after that. But I think the deadline was 6 o'clock today, and as far as I've heard, no issues. So Louisville, bye-bye. See you. Sorry.
Way to rub it in, Big T.
Hey, I heard something last night that I thought was funny. They said, do you think it's weird that the NCAA committee has these teams sitting there rooting for other teams to get COVID? Because you know some of them were. Like, come on, come on.
But as we continue with that, I just want to thank everybody for supporting us for the crossover show. So thank you all for that.
Yeah.
All of our listeners and everybody on YouTube, we just want to thank you for your support. So yes.
Yes.
And I want to thank TP's class real quick for their picks. They're doing a great job. Keep up the work. You know, hey.
Don't forget your sewing class.
I'll be sending you a goodie bag.
Here we go.
See, I didn't say anything. You made amends. I'm out of this. I ain't say nothing.
But you know how we said that and we out. So they
learning something. He's learning something. Hey, real quick, speaking of COVID and the NCAA and all that good stuff, A&T was hit hard by COVID, along with, you had Duke last week, you had Kansas, you had Virginia. They all had to bow out because they had players test
I have to correct you. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
We have to correct you.
Yes.
A&T was hit by COVID only because it was a false positive.
Well, and we get ready to get to that. We get ready to get to that because, all of those teams had to withdraw from their conference tourney, like we said, including A&T's men's basketball team, only to have, once they left Virginia and got back to Greensboro, I think it was one of the coaches that had tested positive, and they had 2 consecutive tests once they got back to Greensboro, and both came up negative. So I mean, it's very unfortunate that they
conspiracy here.
You had a team that went 7-1 against the MEAC, were number 1 on their side of the bracket, and they had to bow out because of a false positive. That's sad. So even though it hit, the other teams, like we said, Duke, Virginia, and Kansas, hey, Duke wasn't gonna make the tournament anyway, and Kansas and Virginia, they're in. It cost them a conference tournament. It didn't cost them a chance at winning the national championship. And A&T, they totally lost that chance by not being able to play in the conference. So, we hate it for the Aggies. And then before we get into our question today, congratulations to the North Carolina teams. On the men's side, you had Appalachian State, UNCG. Of course, we know North Carolina and all that stuff. We're not worried about them, but I'm talking about the little guys, App State, UNCG. And then on the women's side, you had the A&T Aggie, Lady Aggie women got in, and High Point University, unfortunately, the committee set both of them up. They got A&T playing NC State, which is a number 1 seed. That's dirty.
Upset.
And then you got High Point University going up against UConn. I'm like, did the committee just say, get these little North Carolina teams out of here? We could just get them out of here. You know what?
Of course.
What if they both pull off upsets? I would.
That's right.
Right.
I'm cheering for
High Point University.
Yeah.
And I think Central has something to do with our testing of COVID for the men's basketball team. I think you made a couple phone calls. I'm sorry, Big T. I didn't get that in there. Go ahead.
Hey, we already got a comment about the conspiracy theory, which is their last year in the MEAC, and they have a false positive.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
A comment by someone, one of our listeners.
All right.
I wonder who.
Hey, NFL free agency has started, and just throw out a couple of quick things because we got to go to our question of the day. Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes both restructured their contract, which freed up $19 million for Tampa Bay, freed up $17 million for Kansas City. Tampa Bay went out and re-signed just about everybody. I mean, they re-signed Shaq. They re-signed. I think they're in talks to re-sign Ndamukong Suh. They got Gronk back. So they're trying to reload to repeat. And then Kansas City went out and stole one of New England's best offensive linemen, Joe Thuney, gave him a 5-year deal. Speaking of New England, they were the busiest team in the first day of free agency. They went out and signed 6 players on the first day for over $200 million, in years worth of contracts. That's not Bill Belichick, So Tom Brady getting them another one, I think it lit a fire under Bill. So we'll see how free agency plays out. But so far, things are busy. All right, let's move on to the question of the day. And the question of the day is this: since it's tournament time, what is the biggest NCAA tournament upset in your opinion? And we're gonna go ahead and throw that out there to the tunnel crew. Let's talk about it. Radar, give us yours first, man. Since you were the one that brought this question to the table, you go ahead and start us off.
Well, I would have to say when it comes to upsets, I got to go, old school when it was Duke favored to just beat UConn in the championship game. Everybody had it sewn up, and they got beat by Richard Hamilton and Ray Allen and crew. Oh man, they beat them like they stole something.
Yep,
beat the doors off of them.
Hey, Rip played for my Pistons. Hey, and don't forget little Khalid El-Amin.
Absolutely, I think he was the only one that didn't get drafted.
Yeah,
the other four guys got drafted.
The little tank is what I call
the little tank, the point guard.
Yep.
That was very memorable for me, and I was a Duke fan, but I loved because it was a very competitive game.
Yeah,
but it was still a big upset in my book.
That's a good one. Who's next?
Well, Big T, you kind of mentioned mine earlier, but you had that UNLV team in '91. 34-0.
Yep.
Larry Johnson with the gold tooth in his mouth. Altman, Greg Anthony.
Yep.
I mean, these brothers could ball.
They could.
What? They met a guy named Hurley, Leitner.
Grant Hill.
The Duke Blue Devils came in and upset them. And for me, that was the, that I can remember right off, Big T, one of the biggest upsets. Because, I just thought those guys were just going to just continue to blow everybody out, win it all and everything. But, Duke came and upset them. And then Duke ended up beating, I think, Kansas, I believe.
Yep, they beat Kansas.
Yep. To win it all. So that's mine. I have another one. It wasn't the Final Four, but give a shout out to my Aggies in 2013, winning in the first round against Liberty. I'm sorry, Radar. They won in the first round. I just had to throw that in there for my Aggies. Hey. And then they got beat by Louisville.
Hey, but if I remember, they were hanging around for a half against Louisville.
They were.
They were only down by about 10 points at halftime.
Yeah. So I'm done. That's me. Radar. All right.
Bird.
I guess one of the listeners was reading my mind because I was going to say, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm pronouncing this, Lehigh. Okay. Lehigh and Duke in 2012.
Yep.
CJ McCollum.
Yep.
30 points. Get y'all up. Lit Duke up.
Yeah.
Destroyed them.
It was embarrassing, but you know what? A lot of people didn't realize how good that CJ McCollum was, because you see him in the pros now playing with Portland. That dude can ball, and you sitting there saying, man, this guy was playing for Lehigh, I mean, the big school scouts missed him,
And I think that's because Duke also underestimated them, because it's like, oh, we're Duke. We solidified our name in this tournament before. Yeah. Who are y'all? That type of thing.
Yeah. TP, what you got for us?
Well, I was saying that when Villanova, I can't remember the player's name, but when he shot that 3-pointer in Carolina.
Yeah.
So that was definitely an upset where all the Tar Heel fans were definitely upset.
Yeah.
They were upset. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was a Tar Heel fan for the longest. But that game just kind of left your mouth open like, what in the world just happened? And all you can do is look at the scoreboard and say, did that count? Did that count?
Yeah.
I mean, and we're so used to Carolina winning, and when Villanova took it that year, it was like it was a done deal. It was a wrap.
Oh yeah, and that was Yeah, that was a tough one because, you know, moments before that, you had the miracle shot by Marcus Page. And then was it Jenkins that made the shot? I think came back and hit the three to win it. But I still, you know, the one thing about that I always point out to people is, you know, it's a little bit tougher to make a game-winning shot like that, a clutch shot, when you're down by 1 or 2 points. That game was tied because when Marcus Page made that shot, that tied the game. And I believe it was Jenkins. I'm not sure, but I believe it was Jenkins came down and hit the three. I mean, he was just letting it fly. Like, well, if it goes, we win. If not, overtime. You know, so you can relax and take your time and put up a nice smooth shot. But TP, yeah, that was, you know, a lot of people wouldn't look at it as an upset in terms of, you know, because Villanova was a top seed at that time too. But nobody expected, you know, Carolina had, I think at that point they had went through the tournament and hadn't lost. I mean, had won every game by double digits. So I don't think anybody was expecting Villanova to you know win that game. So yeah, I would definitely count that as one. Mine personally, I got to side with Aggie P. I mean, I watched that UNLV team destroy Duke the year before by 30 points, which is still the largest margin of victory in the history of the NCAA championship game. I mean, just destroyed Duke. And the only difference on that Duke team the next year was Grant Hill. Everybody else was pretty much the same players. And that UNLV team, I was in high school then, and I remember staying up late to watch those games when they would play because they were on the West Coast. And so their games were coming on at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And that was the talk of the bus the next morning.
Yes,
you know?
Sir.
I mean, you're like, man, did you see what UNLV did last night? They just beat that team like it was nothing, man. They beat them by 30 points. And so, yeah, I thought, man, they're going to steamroll Duke, you know. And, you know, and a lot of people to this day say they think some shady business happened there. I mean, you know, we are talking about Vegas from the gambling capital of the world. You know, a lot of people say they think some shady stuff happened there, but me personally, I didn't think so. I mean, I got as much as it pains me, I got to give Duke credit. You know, they played a great game, and much like I was saying earlier with Gonzaga, you know, when they play these teams that they beat earlier in the season, those teams gonna have a chip on their shoulder, and they're gonna have something to prove, just like Duke did against UNLV. So,
and Big T, you remember the infamous hot tub picture? Like, college kids can't be in the hot tub.
Yeah. Well, hey, that team was pretty dominant, and
Yes.
you know, you gotta tip your hat to Duke for beating them because it wasn't an easy thing to go out there and beat that squad.
No, it wasn't.
And wasn't Grant Hill there the second year? He wasn't there that first year. They got beat.
Yeah, and that's what I said. You know, the only difference between the team that got beat by 30 and the team that beat UNLV was Grant Hill was on that squad. You know, and he was in the starting lineup. You know, so for a freshman to be in the starting lineup, you know it's a good freshman.
And you remember he caught the ball behind the rim and brought it back.
Yeah, that was
against play of the game.
Yeah, that was against Kansas.
Nice.
Hey,
everybody's like, oh, that's what they doing?
Right.
Hey, here's the funny thing about that. Nobody knew that. I mean, a lot of people still don't realize that them beating UNLV wasn't the championship game. They still had to go out and beat Kansas, you know?
But it felt like it, though.
I know, you know, it did. And I believe if people were like me, once I saw them beat UNLV, I said, they're going to win. You know, I mean, you couldn't see them losing to UNLV. I mean, beating UNLV and then losing to Kansas. You just couldn't see that. So I was like, yeah, they're going to win it. Any other thoughts from the crew?
I just want to say, just going back to earlier what I said, again, just because you're a big name school does not mean that you are solidified to win that tournament like Zaga. Just because whatever you did in the regular season, scratch that. Whatever you did to get to the tournament, the tournament,
Yeah.
Scratch that. It's all about what you do when you get there.
Yeah. Well, you may not agree with this, but I always say they call it preseason, regular season, and postseason for a reason. And the reason they call it that is because you play the preseason, and then once it's over, none of that matters. You play the regular season just to determine seeding for the postseason, but once that season closes, none of that matters. You know what I'm saying? The postseason is a new season, and you can forget about what happened in preseason, regular season. Once you get to the postseason, teams are looking at it as, hey, this is a brand new season. We got in the tournament, and now we're all 0-0, you know?
Right. And we don't want to go home.
That's right.
Don't
exactly. Nobody wants to leave. So I think everybody had some good mentions there. I think all of those were pretty good, especially TP bringing up, thank you for stabbing me in the heart with the with the UNC Villanova thing there. Hey, listen up, everybody. Be sure to catch this at-home edition of the Crossover each and every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And you can do that throughout the entirety of this pandemic. You can catch us on YouTube at our Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Once you get there, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the show. And then you can catch the original audio version on its original day and time on the radio at 7 p.m. Of the Crossover, the original Crossover Sports Show. Listen to that edition online at WLJFradio.com. You can also catch that version on our app, the 100.7 WLJF app, which is available on Google Play and in iTunes Store. That's 3 segments down, 1 to go, and that's the wrap up. And we'll do that on the other side. You're listening to At Home with the Crossover.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the Crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Band. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. 1 church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
It's time now for the Crossover Wrap-Up Report. Let's send it back to the Tunnel Crew.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover, and it's time for the wrap-up, like you heard Radar say. But before we jump into our records and all of that stuff, got a couple of quick mentions here. Seems like every week we're having to do this, but we had another death in the sports world. So everybody, please pray for the family of Marvelous Marvin Hagler, because our man Marvelous Marvin died on Saturday at the age of 66. And for those of you who don't know, I know a lot of the younger cats probably don't know too much about Marvelous Marvin Hagler, but he came up in an era where boxing was truly great. You know, you had the legends like Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas the Hitman Hearns, and you know, and he was amongst those greats. You know, and he was the undisputed middleweight champion from 1980 to 1987. That's a long run as champion, y'all. Finished with a career record of 62, 3-2, 52 knockouts. I mean, dude was a surgeon. And, you know, so just prayers, thoughts and prayers go out to his family. Passed away on the weekend. And, man, if you want to see how vicious and brutal and tough boxing was back then, go back and watch that fight between him and Hitman Hearns, because you're gonna see some straight up gladiator style boxing. I mean,
I got a concussion just watching it. I was like, ouch.
Crazy,
And he felt like he got cheated in that fight. Oh, I forgot to mention during that time, Roberto Duran also, you know, he was out there. So yeah, that was tough. But he retired over some controversy. Felt like he got cheated, and he's one of the rare boxers that walked away and never came back. You know, boxers retired, unretired 5 or 6 times, but he stayed retired. Moved to Italy and became an actor, and you know, and never came back. So hats off to Marvelous Marvin Hagler, and like we said, pray for the family as they deal with the loss of their loved one. Then the other thing that I wanted to mention real quick was Drew Brees retired. He announced his retirement. He went on to the Today. We announced it on Twitter, and he went on the Today Show and confirmed it. Said he'll be joining NBC Sports and working the NFL. I don't know if he's doing pregame or he's calling games, whatever, but he's going to be doing something for NBC. So congratulations to Drew Brees.
Yeah.
All right. Records for last week. Radar. We had the ACC Challenge last week, and Radar was the victor. He went 10-4 in the ACC Challenge, setting a record, a Tunnel Crew record for the most wins in the ACC Challenge. We've only done 2 of them. This was the second. So he set the record for the most wins. So now we got something to shoot for. You know, see if somebody can go 11-3 or 12-2, or you know.
Is this my camera? Is this my camera? I just like to thank my sewing class, Miss Vita, Miss Olivia, Miss Barbara, and Miss Latina.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, ladies.
I just wanted to show how class is, because I'm not going to have any comments.
If my class gave me TP's fix, I would have felt all of them.
I'm crossing my legs. I've been here before.
There you go. All right. Well, so basically, he won the ACC Challenge. Congratulations. Aggie P and Stats, they went 9-5. Birdman went 7-7. I went 6-8. TP went 5-8, and Orangeman went 5-9. So I'm sorry, TP, you went 5-9. Orangeman went 5-8. So there you go. The overall standings look like this. Radar's on top with 27 wins. I'm second with 26 wins. Aggie P is next with 25 wins. Stats is next with 23 wins. Birdman is next with 22 wins. TP has 18 wins. And the guest hosts, Orangeman and Bromel, you know, they do a combined record. They have 9 wins. So,
but who was that before Orangeman and Bromello? Who's in last place? Who's here today?
Hey, I'm not gonna. You heard me.
Yes.
You heard me, so I'm not even gonna go there. All right, so listen up. The picks for this week, we did the entire tournament. We all entered a tournament challenge bracket, so we're not gonna sit here and tell everybody's picks, because that's what 67 something like that, something odd number picks. We're not gonna do that on the air. We'll just let you know each week. We'll keep track of how everybody's doing in the tournament, and we'll let you know who's in the lead and all that good stuff. But yeah, the picks for this week, we picked the entire NCAA tournament field. So we'll see how the Tunnel Crew does on our picks starting Friday this week. So, all right, let's go ahead and get into our shout outs or shut up and play candidates. And we'll start with the leader, Ray Charles. Radar.
What do you know? I would like to give a shout out to my supervisor, Miss Jackson. And again, the women from my sewing class, Vita, Barbara, Olivia, Watina, Teresa, Jamila, all you ladies, thank you so much. I'm on top because of you.
All right, we're going to go with Aggie P next.
Oh, man, my shout out goes to the Lady Aggies.
Yeah.
Basketball team. Great job, ladies.
There you go.
Let's go pull off this upset against State.
Get it done.
Get it done.
All right, let's go with Birdman.
Shout out to the queen herself, TP. She knows why. Behind closed doors. We ain't got to discuss it on there, but you ain't have to do that. So.
Oh, wow. Oh, TP.
I don't know how to take that right there.
Well.
Well, you know what, Birdman? I'll give you a shout out too. I appreciate you, so I give you a shout out as well. But I do also have to shout out I'm gonna just say this, all of the women of the ACC and all women basketball players. I want to give a shout out to them because I feel like the women are underrated.
All right. Hey, and my shout out goes out to Georgia Tech and the Yellow Jackets. Congratulations on winning the ACC tournament. First time in 28 years. All right, for the Queen.
Blessings.
For Aggie P.
No weapon.
For Radar.
Narrow is the way.
For Birdman.
They shall mount up with wings as eagles.
I'm your man, Big T, signing off and saying no matter where you are, look up and know that your creator is there. Until next time, see ya, and we might want to be you.
That's all we have for you today. So be sure to join us next week for the crossover. And remember, the Tunnel Crew don't play unless we have something to say.